Let me tell you something nobody warns you about. Inheritance isn't always a blessing. My name is Noah. I'm 27. Single, work in real estate. Nothing glamorous, just managing properties and coordinating flips. I don't believe in ghosts. Or at least, I didn't. That changed the day I got a call from a lawyer about a property I didn't know existed. My grandmother, Eleanor Morley, passed away. I never met her. She and my mother had a falling out before I was born. Something to do with the old religion, whatever that meant. My mother never spoke her name, and every time I asked about her side of the family, she shut down completely. So when the lawyer said I was the sole inheritor of her estate, I was shocked. Apparently, I'd inherited a house tucked into the backwoods of northern Pennsylvania. An old Victorian manor built in the 1890s, untouched for over 30 years. No other claimants, the lawyer had said. Your mother declined it before she passed. Now it's yours. I didn't think twice. A house like that? Even if it was falling apart, the land alone could be worth something. I took the offer. Signed the papers. That was the first mistake. The drive up took 6 hours. The house wasn't even on GPS. I had to follow written directions that led me through pine-choked back roads and rotting wooden signs. When I arrived, the first thing I noticed was how the forest seemed to pull back from the house, as if the trees didn't want to be near it. The second thing I noticed, all the windows were blacked out, not boarded, painted, as if someone was trying to keep something inside. I stepped onto the porch. The floorboards groaned, but held. The front door was unlocked. The air inside was stale, heavy, and disturbingly warm for late October. The furniture was covered in white sheets, all of them yellowing with age. The wallpaper was peeling. Dust clung to every corner, but the house wasn't falling apart. It had been preserved, maintained, like someone was still taking care of it. In the living room was an old wooden piano, keys yellowed, a metronome frozen mid-tick. I ran my hand across it, and the metronome started moving. Tick, tick, tick. I froze. I hadn't touched it. I checked the kitchen. Empty. Cupboard still stocked with ancient canned food. The fridge wasn't plugged in, yet the air inside was cold. Then, I found the photo, in the hallway near the stairs. A black and white family portrait. My grandmother in the center. Her eyes scratched out. Everyone's eyes were scratched out, all except mine. Because I was in the photo. A boy, maybe 6 or 7, holding her hand, smiling. I had never been to this house. Not once. I dropped the photo. I decided to stay one night, just to assess the damage, see what I'd need to do to list it. Maybe take a few photos, then leave and hire a crew to clean it out. But that night, things changed. At 2:13 a.m., I woke up to the piano playing just 3 notes. Over and over. Low, then high, then low again. I crept down the stairs holding my phone flashlight. The living room was empty, but the keys were moving, not fast, just enough to tap those 3 notes. I ran to the piano and slammed the cover down. The notes stopped, but the moment I turned away, I heard footsteps upstairs, creaking, slow, deliberate. I ran up, heart in my throat. All the doors were open, except one, at the end of the hall, painted black, with salt poured in a line across the threshold. I didn't open it. I locked myself in the guest room and didn't sleep. In the morning, I tried to leave, but my car wouldn't start. No cell signal, no neighbors for miles. I was stuck. That day, I explored the basement. It was the only place I hadn't checked. The door had been nailed shut, but curiosity, Or maybe something else got the better of me. I pried the boards off with a crowbar I found in the shed. The air that rushed out smelled like rot and something older, like blood and wet iron. I descended. The basement was enormous. Cold stone walls, candles melted into the floor, circles carved into the concrete, filled with ash and dried herbs. And in the center, an old cradle. Inside was a doll, its face carved out. As I stared at it, I heard a whisper behind me, clear, feminine. "He needs a name." I ran. I slammed the basement door shut and reboarded it. When I turned around, the metronome was ticking again, faster. That night, I dreamed I was in the forest behind the house, naked, kneeling in a circle of bones. My grandmother stood behind me, whispering in a language I didn't know. Then she said, "Blood remembers, even when you forget." I woke up sweating, nose bleeding. My phone was open to the camera app, the front-facing one, and there was a photo of me sleeping with someone standing behind me. Their face was blank, skin like ash, eyes hollow. I packed my things, tried to leave again. The car started this time, but as I reached the end of the long gravel driveway, there was a woman standing in the middle of the road, wearing a wedding dress, veil covering her face. She didn't move. I blinked and she was gone. Back in town, I went to the county records office. I needed to know more. The clerk, an old man with shaking hands, refused to look me in the eye when I said, "Morley House." Finally, he said, "Your grandmother was a midwife and a witch." He handed me a yellowed folder. Inside were police reports, all from the 1950s to 1970s. Dozens of missing persons. Children. Infants, all last seen near the Morley estate. None ever found, except one. An unnamed boy found wandering the forest. No memory. Covered in symbols carved into his skin. The photo attached to the report was grainy, but it was me. I went back to the house. I don't know why. Maybe I needed answers. Maybe the house was calling me. This time I opened the black door upstairs. Inside was a nursery. Dusty crib. Rocking chair still moving. Above the crib, painted in dried blood, "Return what was taken." I remembered something. A lullaby. My grandmother's voice. I started humming it, and the room changed. The crib was full. A baby, swaddled in dark red cloth, eyes wide, no mouth. It looked at me and I remembered. I had lived here. She had taken me in, raised me, fed me, prepared me, until my mother ran, took me, erased the memories. But blood remembers. Even when you forget. Now the house wanted me back. The forest welcomed me. The air was warm again. The metronome ticked, and I knew. This house wasn't haunted. It was hungry. And I was home. What would you do if you inherited a house that remembered everything you tried to forget? Comment below.